Prophetess Debile, 7750 Media. I'll continue from where I left off from my notes of the 21st of July. I was still talking about Princess Diana's bodyguard by the name of Barry Albert Manaki, who died in a very strange car accident in 1987. His employer is recorded as the Royal Protection Squad and Diplomatic Protection Squad, respectively. Now, God is obviously going somewhere. During August or September in the year 2013, Myles Munroe was in the kingdom of eSwatini, still called Swaziland at that point in time. And I do believe that he did some training for members of the government of eSwatini, and he also met the diplomats that were in the then Swaziland, representing their various countries and nations. And some of those diplomats were from certain Muslim states. And so the Lord kept going on about how the secret of Princess Diana's death is with Kevin Costner. And Kevin Costner was, of course, involved in, at least now we have heard, some sequel that he had wanted to do with Princess Diana. But then she literally died within a day of him receiving the script of the movie back. Now, Princess Diana died with Dodi Al-Fayed, who was Egyptian as well as Muslim. So now we get to the 21st of July. Yes, okay, we continue with the 21st of July, pardon me. I have this friend of mine who's been talking about Pip. Now, Pip is a certain character of the English novel by Charles Dickens called Great Expectations. So while she was busy talking about this Pip, I wrote here the Pip of Great Expectations, because a pip is a seed. But the reason this character was called Pip is because he couldn't say his name when he was young. His name was Philip Pirip. Because he couldn't say his name, they just called him Pip because that's what he would say when they called him. It was alleged in certain documents, writings, and documentaries that Princess Diana was pregnant. And obviously, I don't think that Buckingham Palace were going to have the mother of the future King of England being pregnant with a Muslim child. And I'm going to leave that statement there for now. And I'm going to keep going back and forth between issues. Myles Munroe states in the video that he left behind of his visit and his meeting with His Majesty King Mswati III, a record that because of his address to the diplomats in Swaziland, he was approached by certain of the Muslim diplomats in order for him to address the royal nations of the Arab states. So the royal leaders of the Arab states, in other words. And so Myles Munroe had been quite excited about taking the gospel to the Arab nations, who are, for the most part, practicing Islam. And he was talking about kingdom leadership for transforming the world. And he closed off his address with God bless the King of eSwatini and God bless the Kingdom of eSwatini. Now, I'm not here just to regurgitate what Myles Munroe said. I've said in a previous video, and I've said it various times actually, that when Myles Munroe died in the plane crash that killed him on the 9th of November 2014, my spirit went there with him, and I experienced that devastating crash. And I knew that there were bodies all around me. And so, as the dream ended, I remember holding a white rope in my right hand. And when I looked at it and I saw this white rope in my hand, I asked, am I dead? And the voice of God answered me and said, no, you're not dead. After the mourning period, I obviously understood that the reason I had gone where Myles Munroe had gone at the point of his death, when he met his demise, was because one of the things that I would have to do was to carry on from where he left off. Meaning, Myles Munroe went to eSwatini to start something that the Lord had commissioned and assigned him to do. And when he died, and I do believe he was 63 at the time. I'm going to have to check that up, but I believe he died at the age of 63. When he died, my spirit was there with him. And I have finished my period of preparation because I was in training long before Myles Munroe died. As I said, this ministry has been in the making since 2010. And Myles Munroe passed away in 2014. And I have been recording my dreams and my visions and all of the training that the Lord has put me through so that I can get to this point in time. And of course, diplomacy is very important because my father, Harry Joshua Mabuza, that is my father, as I was being asked by people who I was. I am the daughter of my father. My father was a diplomat. He was in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs under Sir George Mamba, who was the Minister of Foreign Affairs. My father was also the Chief of Protocol for His Majesty King Mswati III. But as for me, I am not in the government of His Majesty King Mswati III. Just to correct the conceptions of people, I'm not there. But one thing I do know is that my time will come to meet His Majesty and to continue with the work of the kingdom of God in the kingdom of eSwatini. And I will leave it here for now. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.